the utility or the utility advisory board. I live outside the city, but I am a customer of the electric utility. Well, first I'd like to review, going back a year ago, at Mayor Daniels' lead, the city really kind of changed the way it was looking at utility rates. It hired Baker Tilly consulting firm to look at the utilities over a longer period of time. Traditionally, a lot of cities would wait until a utility was in distress and then have a large percentage increase all at once. And with yourself, you voted to regulate the utilities yourself a number of years ago, you don't need to wait to take action, wait until something goes into distress. So a year ago, Baker Tilly consulting firm presented a 3-year proposal on rates. I think they looked over operations for the future 5 years. Our utility board then recommended that the city proceed and adopt the first year implementation of the water, the sewer, and the stormwater rates. And with respect to the electric operations, the Baker Tilly firm looked at both the purchase power and the operating costs together. We recommend that they not proceed those rates together. Let the utility or the purchase power tracker adjustment continue as it is scheduled, and we recommended a 2% across the board increase in the base rates of the electric utility. And the council ultimately adopted that. A year is now elapsed, and this is one of the beauties of the 3-year plan. If things go awry, we can adjust it. Our utility board met again and reviewed the various financial statements, and we are recommending basically a very similar approach. As the resolution that's adopted, we are recommending that the city council approve the year 2 proposals for the water, the sewer, and the stormwater utilities. And then with respect to the electric utility, this year we are recommending a 4% across the board increase exclusive of the purchase power tracker adjustment. And then we recommend that we come back a year from now and look at year 3 again. That's the proposal that is before you. I'd like to make kind of a few comments on it. We are recommending a higher base rates on the electric side, or the electric rates. A year ago, we had that 2% increase along with letting the purchase power tracker adjustment flow through. And there was a pretty significant increase in the purchase power costs last year from your supplier, the Indiana Municipal Power Agency. One reason I asked this chart to be presented that shows the 5-year usage of that. And you can see with the starting in the year 2019 at one end and 2023, the electric consumption in Columbia City Municipal has been declining every year. Slight declines, but declines nonetheless. And there's a number of reasons for that. One is maybe the high school moving out of the city limits to here and relocating in the cooperative service territory. But it's the efficiency of appliances in your homes and your appliances, the LED lights, more outdoor solar lighting. It's customers conserving, and I think that's a good thing we would be looking at. But it does deprive you of the revenue. A year ago, we recommended a 2% increase in the base rates. Well, the electric consumption in the last column, 2023, over the year before, dropped about 1.25%. Well, that 2% increase basically pretty much evaporated just by the decline in kilowatt hour consumption. And we're back again now looking at this year where we are recommending a higher base rate increase for the electric utility. The electric utility is really it was tight of cash. They had a major expenditure last year in constructing some of the, what was called your transmission project. But it left very little cash reserves remaining in the electric utility account. And we were recommending a 4% increase so those could be replenished. All the utilities are really kind of, I'll say, low on cash reserves. But
And
with,
again, I think we've been, you know, this may be hard for some people, you know, not in this room to hear, but, you know, it is, we've been fairly conservative. I mean, we've had to do a lot of projects across all the boards, if you will, across all the utilities, whether it's water, sewer, electric, even stormwater. We've had to do a lot of work on our infrastructure to keep it up. Work costs money, and again, materials are up significantly, right? Not to mention the fact that purchase power cost is up significantly as well. It's up, but it's up across the board. We've seen, I think, Sean, you gave me documents that showed I&M's up, AEP's up. Down in Indianapolis, they have a power increase call. I mean, so everybody's power is going up. Some of that has to do with the EPA things happening at the federal government. Some of that has to do with some of those regulations and some of the coal-fired plant stuff that's happening across the nation because of the current federal administration and what kind of things are happening there. So everybody is kind of getting hit in the same area as they try to move toward we'll say a greener grid and all that kind of stuff, but and we can have philosophical conversations about that until the cows come home. But the end of the day is that it costs more to produce power now than it did a year or 2 or 3 ago. So
and there are charts in that Baker Tilly consulting thing that your rates still compare favorably to rates of other utilities around. You're lower than the investor-owned. I'll say you're on the municipal. Some are lower, some are higher than city.
We're about middle when it comes to municipals.
Yeah.
But we'd still, even with this, we would still be lower than Northeastern RMC. We're still lower than AEP. I think we're still lower than Noble RMC. So again, trying to be good stewards of the dollars. But as to reiterate what Lee had said previously, it was a decision of this council and myself that we would take a measured approach to this every year, that we'd look at it every year. That's not something we're just going to go carte blanche. Hey, we're going to do this over the 3 years. It was the decision that we would look at this every single year, have them come back, do a presentation, look at the numbers. And again, keep in mind, these 5 members of the Utility Rate Advisory Board are citizens and ratepayers. They're not, I mean, yes, they're selected by me and approved by you, but they are citizens. They are not paid to do what they do. They don't, I mean, so I appreciate the work of the Utility Rate Advisory Board because it's not easy. These people have these numbers down pretty darn good. They do a really great job of that.
Yeah.
So.
And going back to this chart again,
Yep.
as these costs are increasing and your sales are stable or declining, you really don't have much alternative other than to raise the electric rates or go out of business.
Yeah. Well,
And you don't want the utility operations to go out of business.
And again, theoretically, John Q. Citizen, if you will, as they're buying more, energy efficient bulbs, as they're doing their things to green the energy, theoretically they're using less energy, and so we're trying to keep up with the cost of materials and power as people are using less and less. So it really is kind of a V curve, if you will. I mean, it's opposite of what it is. So.
Okay, so you have our recommendation before you. We recommend to adopt it. I'm available for any questions you may have.
Questions of Lee? So this will be on the agenda for the next meeting if you choose to accept that recommendation. We have Baker Tilly who's put the numbers together for the next phase, if you will. So just to give you some perspective what that looks like, and just so you're aware, sewer would be about $4.60 per month. Water, 71 cents a month. Stormwater, 61 cents a month. And electric, about $6.
So it's about a 4.5% increase overall.
It's
Per month or?
That's a typical 4,000 gallon, yes. I'm sorry, what, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you described. And again, those are very modest increases percentage-wise, and as you know, if you read nationally, we're still nationally we're in the range of about 3% annual inflation right now. So, and that's what these increases are like.
And we've talked about this in the past, but what's unique about Columbia City versus lots of other communities is that when you're in Fort Wayne, you get a bill specifically from, is it I&M,
Yeah.
whoever it is,
Yeah,
right?
I&M.
You get a bill from I&M, but they also get a Fort Wayne bill for water and sewer, right? So our bill has, for a lot of our customers, has all four, right? Water, sewer, stormwater, and electric on it. And garbage and other things, and garbage isn't projected to go up, obviously, at the moment. But I say all that to say, when people are comparing their rates to other communities, sometimes it's hard because those other communities don't have 4 utilities plus trash on their bill, right? So their bill in Fort Wayne may be, and again, also they have 300,000 people in Fort Wayne, so it's a little different. But the point of the matter is, it's not an apples to apples, no matter where you go, unless they have these 4 utilities plus trash on their bill, it's not gonna be an apples to apples comparison. But consistently especially with water and electric and even sewer, we're actually fairly moderate when it comes, fairly in that middle category. Stormwater's a little higher than most places, but we're also under some additional mandates that other communities are not when it comes to stormwater management, just so you're aware. So,
I have to concur with that, because I get questioned a lot, but when I show them everything I'm paying for,
yeah.
on all those utilities,
Yeah.
because they're not comparing, they're just looking at their electric bill.
Yep, electric to
I'm like,
electric,
My
yeah.
whole bill's not what you're paying for electric. So
Yeah, I get it.
people look at their utility bills differently in other communities, so.
Yep. And again, so just so you're aware, in September, our City Scene newsletter is being prepared right now for the September edition. My article is about utility rates and just explain the reason and rationale behind why we have to do what we have to do, and some of the cost factors, material and unfunded mandates and things like that. So just so you know, we're trying to keep the public informed about that. Nobody likes to do rate increases. Obviously, it does us no good it does us no good both as elected officials and as citizens who have to pay these rates, right? It doesn't make our life better or easier, but that's the cost of leadership. And we are mandated by the state to keep a certain amount of cash reserves in each of our utilities to ensure that they're solvent, and frankly, to make sure that each of our utilities are able to continue doing the work they have to do, water pipes, electrical lines, sewer pipes, etc., to keep our systems running appropriately. So, I'm sorry, Lee, I don't mean to commandeer your time, so.
I do have a question.
Yes.
I kind of want to have a discussion.
Sure.
Just because I've talked to Mike about this, and he had asked for the 2-year rate at once. What was the decision for the water department to not get that? I mean, as I look at it, 71 cents, it's not gonna go very far. And I know that we have some big projects coming up. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I think 71 cents probably isn't gonna go very far, right, for what we have coming up?
We've got stuff we've done and continue to do, 71 cents is hard to make it, but, I guess we will do our best to make it through.
I'm just wondering why it was recommended to continue with the
Well,
2 years instead of agreeing to his.
we accepted the recommendations of the Baker Tilly
Got it.
consulting firm. And we didn't want to separate one of the utilities from the other. We were not necessarily opposed to an additional 71 cent increase on the water side. But
I think the conversation, just my perspective, the conversation of the Utility Rate Advisory Board was the concept of, okay, well, so it's 71 cents for water for an additional year. It's 61 cents for an additional year for stormwater. So like, at what point do you start saying, okay, well, we're gonna do a 2-year for this, but not a 1 year for this? So I think in general, no disrespect to Mike or anything like that, but I think the Utility Rate Advisory Board was just like, Baker Tilly set out this plan based on the information coming from the superintendents as to what projects they were projecting out. And so just stick with that plan. That was their rationale behind
Yep,
it, so.
just wanted to
But
clarify.
again, the council has that authority to make the decision of what you guys want to do. So, because they're an advisory board, but, so it's up to you guys what you want to do. But
well, thank you for inviting me.
thanks, Lee, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything else on that topic? Is it the preference of the council to prepare an ordinance that reflects the Utility Rate Advisory Board's recommendation?
Is there a motion?
No, it doesn't have to be a motion because the ordinance will come, but I just want to know from the council if that's where you want to go at the next meeting.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay, Jennifer says yes, Dan says yes, Tad, yes. Ladies okay with that? Okay,
So did you, just go for the minutes,
yes.
it's 2% for everything and 4% for electric, right?
So the, hold on, let me get back to their presentation here. It is, officially speaking, the recommendation is, the Utility Rate Advisory Board recommends that the city move forward with year 2 of the 3-year plan for the water, sewer, and stormwater utilities as set forth in that rate study. With respect to the electric utility, it is recommended that the city council approve a 4% across the board increase in the city's base electric rates, excluding the wholesale base rate tracker, with the base rates being defined as the rates currently in effect, less the purchase power cost embedded in the rate structure.
Yeah.
And that passed unanimously by the board. So, you have, I know you have those numbers in the Baker Tilly.
Yeah, I just didn't get that.
Yeah. So, I don't think it's a 2%, though.
Oh,
I don't think it's a 2%.
I didn't.
I think last year was the 2%, but this year
Okay,
was,
yeah,
was
you're
higher
right.
than that, so.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions?
Real quick.
Yes.
I know he said 4, but then I'm looking at page 7 of our paper packet, and it says a 4.5% total bill change.
Page 7 of our packet.
It has 2 graphs where it shows the current rates that we're paying for each service and then proposed
Oh.
2024.
So I think the difference is the tracker is not included in that.
Okay.
So the tracker is, it's not, Sean and I have some differences of opinion on how to describe this. I say the tracker is kind of an exterior, kind of, it's not, it's a part of our rate structure, yes, but it's variable based on the power cost. So as power costs go up or down, it adjusts the tracker in and of itself.
Okay.
So I think that 4.5 is actually including the tracker in, where the Utility Rate Advisory Board has said, let's keep the tracker out for now, kind of keep it on its own, and do the base 4%. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yeah, right under there, it says based on 4% increase across the board does not include tracking factor.
Yes. You saying in their recommendation?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Does that make sense, Jenny? Does that answer your question? Okay, I want to make sure it's clear. Anything else? Okay, thank you, Lee. Appreciate you being here. Okay, next up is ordinance 2024-9. Do I have a motion to read by title only?
So moved.
Motion by Jennifer, seconded by Tad. Further discussion? All those in, oh, I'm sorry. We'll go to the voice vote. Leslie?
Yes.
Yes.
Jenny? Tad?
Yep.
Dan?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Okay, please read ordinance 2024-9 by title only.
Ordinance 2024-9, an ordinance amending chapter 114, restaurants, and chapter 112, mobile non-food vendors of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Columbia City, Indiana.
Okay, Marcia, we decided not to do anything with that, right? Or did we decide to change it? What are you gonna do?
No, I said let's move forward. I
Okay,
have, I
that's
have
my thought.
information in the ordinance.
Okay, okay, so there was, so just so you're aware, there was some conversation in the Board of Works meeting regarding the actual permit and how those permits are being processed. Excuse me, some discussion regarding annual fees versus 6-month fees, or I'm sorry, annual permits versus 6-month permits. The 3 categories of it being city business with a storefront, non-city business at an event, and non-city business not at an event. So there's the 3. And then from there, the decision of whether it's on public infrastructure or private infrastructure changes the trajectory. So if it's on public infrastructure, it comes to the Board of Works for approval of location and the dates, because it's on public infrastructure. Parking spaces, city streets, etc., right? If it's on private, then it's just the permitting process through Rosie's office, okay? Because they've already got approval from the private property owner that they're gonna be utilizing that area. So I say all that to say, there was some conversation at the Board of Works just to make sure that that was clear in the ordinance, that if they're gonna be using public infrastructure, again, parking spaces, streets, etc., they come to the Board of Works for approval ahead of time. That make sense? Okay. So the Board of Works did not approve any kind of fee schedule. I'm assuming that will be on the next Board of Works agenda to talk through that, some of that. But I think we're good to go with the ordinance.
Yeah, the only thing I did was, I did clean it up a little bit. I put a little definition of Board of Works, what that is, the Board of Public Works and Safety. And then in the ordinance, I just made sure it was always just Board of Works. So what Rosie has is that cleaned up version.
Okay. Which is just really change the terminology of the board. It's not, it doesn't change anything, it's just Board of Works versus.
Didn't
Board of
change the
Safety.
ordinance at all.
Yeah,
I was just trying.
I just want to make sure you're clear, it doesn't
I
change
just added
anything.
a little definition to make sure, since it's used so often in the ordinance, I wanted to make sure it was clear.
My short-term memory is not working at this moment. Did you read the ordinance by title only? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. It's been a long day, friends. Okay, so any questions, comments, concerns regarding the ordinance? Anything that you've talked about, heard about, anything like that as we do this change? Okay, I'm just not seeing anything. So do I have a motion to approve ordinance 2024-9 on second? Second and final reading.
So moved.
Motion by Leslie, seconded by Dan. Further discussion? Okay, we'll go to the voice vote. Leslie?
Approved.
Jenny?
Approve.
Will you wait till I call your name? I'm just kidding. Tad?
Approved.
Dan?
Approved.
And Jennifer?
Approved.
It is unanimous. Okay, very good. Thank you, everybody. I know that was a long slog. I really want to thank the Ordinance Review Committee for your work on that. I know that was kind of a long time coming. Marcia, thank you for all your edits and work and the, months-long conversation that has months with a plural, conversation about food trucks and how it fits into our ecosystem and where's the appropriate places and how does government get involved in that role and all that kind of stuff. So thanks everybody for all of your conversations on there. We will never make the perfect ordinance, but we put a lot of effort and work into this one specifically. So thanks everybody for being a part of that, okay? With that, we will move to department head reports as I turn Jennifer around here. Department head reports, Chipper.
Eagle Park kind of took a pause, but pickleball courts have been placed. I don't know, I want to say lay, I don't know if that's the proper way to say concrete or asphalt. But we are waiting 30 days for those to be sealed. More concrete for the sidewalks going to start coming in the next couple weeks, and swing structure should be happening soon. Westgate, next week, I believe they're hoping the next week or two to start pouring curbs on Lawrence and Buddale. We are anticipating getting some information on the Blue River Trail up to the high school from our engineer, as NDOT has approved it, so we're moving forward there. And other than that, I don't have anything.
Questions of Chip? Thank you. Sean?
Jefferson Street and Rolling Hills project is moving along. Contractors were in today and yesterday doing some hand digging, excavating up some of the existing utilities so they don't hit them when they go bore through there. So hopefully they'll have that all poured in this week and next, and we can start getting some of that stuff transferred to underground from overhead, which will be really nice. We did have some skate issues last week. One of Mike's stations was thrown online on the fiber network, and they were issued a wrong IP address, so we had some conflicting IP addresses, or had one IP address assigned to two different pieces of equipment, causing some SCADA issues. We were able to fix that pretty quickly. Also, we had 2 individuals accept offers for employment today. One of water department's individuals was moving over to the electric department. We also hired a gentleman from Texas, so he's got family in the area, wants to get back up here. He's already completed line school, already has his Class A CDL, which is great. So that saves us $6,000 right away. So looking forward to getting him up here.
Good. Questions of Sean? Thank you. Tom?
Our certified driver off class is concluded. That's nice to get that done. 102's electrical issues have not repeated, even with multiple uses of that engine. So hopefully it was an isolated incident. And the
Just worked itself out, hopefully.
I don't think that's probably the case, but you know.
I'm not done.
City fireworks this year brought up some issues when we got to thinking about the future and the Connie Dye property and the the development back in there, that we may have to redo some measurements and see if it's even possible as that development goes to have the fireworks there. So that's gonna be an ongoing thing that we'll have to keep an eye on. 4-H, reminder everybody, 4-H is next week. Those always, any events like, large events like that always have things that all of us have to be a part of to make sure that they flow correctly. Chris and I'll be meeting with Marshall later on in the month in reference to some ordinance updates that we may have to look at. Our new guy is doing great, just as we expected. He is very green to the fire service. He has all of his certs, but he really didn't have much field experience, so we're working with him on that. That was not a surprise. It's just something we knew. As I said the last time, we have 2 of our firefighters that have knee injuries. They were going to have surgery. The first surgery comes up the 15th of this month, and then the other gentleman will have to be getting this scheduled. I informed all of my department heads, fellow department heads, that their AEDs are probably going to start having some battery issues. The parts started having them. We had 2 of them on hand. They were all purchased at the same time, so I'm guessing all of the city, there's I think 15 of them, citywide, are going to start having some battery issues. And we'll get those taken care of. My department kind of oversees to make sure that those are kept in ready shape. I think that's about it.
Questions of Tom? Thank you. Matt?
New picnic tables, big hit. They, after 4th of July especially, they all just congregated around the concession stand. Actually, one family took ownership of one of the tables and sat there the entire night. We had another good turnout at the fireworks, even though it did rain for a brief time. Excuse me. I want to thank the street department for coming over and helping us figure out why we had a sinkhole in the parking lot, and that was like 2 days before we were supposed to have the 4th. Then thanks to the water department for coming over and fixing the field tile that was the problem, and they did it, really fast, filled it all back in, did it properly so we could have the entire parking lot to park cars. And last but not least, the electric department for getting all of our power needs ready for the 4th and for fixing the electric line that fed the whole baseball area that had gotten damaged. So also we cleaned up from the 4th, and we're getting ready for JFL and soccer. And the mayor asked me during Board of Works when the JFL registration was up, and it was actually up yesterday, July 8th. Is the last day that it closed for sign up.
Questions of Matt? Thank you. Mike?
The Board of Works is going to allow me to replace the worker that Sean stole. The second filter we got 3 filters, one's been done. The second one should be done tomorrow, which means we'll have to chlorinate it for 24 hours, and then we'll flush it, and then we have to pass 2 bacteria tests before we put it back in service. So then we'll only have 1 more to do. I don't know when they're going to get the North Tower back in operation. They're painting the inside, and when it's raining, they're not going to be climbing the tower to get inside that. So I doubt if they'll be here tomorrow to work on that. But the filter guys said they were going to be here tomorrow, no matter how bad it rained. They were going to be done with it. So.
Questions of Mike? Thank you. On that note, I do want to thank the street and water department. I think that they were going out around checking stormwater drains and stuff. The hurricane remnants coming through, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't going to have standing water and stuff. As I look out the window, it's pouring now. So I do want to thank the departments there that did go out and take a look at the stormwater drains, make sure they were clean. So, Gary.
All right, get a quick update on the 2 new hires. Chuck Melton went down and went through the public safety medical. We're still waiting to hear results for that. Austin Sturgis is expected to be cleared by his doctor on August 12th. And we have appointments set for the public safety medical for August 13th, so hopefully everything goes well with that. Update on the hiring process. We have 16 applications for the police officer position. We have extended that process as well up till the testing date, which is August 3rd. And we're hoping to have, I like to have 20-plus applications, but hopefully we get there. But we're just accepting applications up till the testing date. And for communications, we have 14 applications, and we also, due to Matt's retirement, have extended that application process till the 22nd. So again, 16 to 14, not bad numbers, but usually like to have around 20 plus. Back in the day, used to get about 50 applications for one position, so we're considerably down. But we get a lot of applications the last week or so, so that usually helps. First Friday in Farmers Market, we're a success this last time, no issues. Due to the closing of State Road 9 for the bridge, the deputy chief and I put no parking signs, or had no parking signs put out on Spencer Street. Him and I went and talked to all the residents on Spencer Street just to have that communication with them. Really, one person was upset about it, but we were able to work through that, and I think he's fine now, so. I was approved by the Board of Works to purchase 2 Ford Explorers from City Ford for $43,722.
Each.
Each, yes, each. It'd be nice if it was for both.
It would be great.
But Durangos are having problems. I don't know if you guys have seen with the Indiana State Police, they're having problems with the Durangos and with oil overheating and coming back through the cooler and just blowing the motors up. So they're having due to their media release, they're like 40% of their vehicles, they're expected to have 40% problems with them. So one to kind of stay away from the Durangos for now. Did firearms qualifications this week, and actually that was one of them was today. We've got another one tomorrow. Everybody qualified well, so that's good even in the rain. Officer Anspaul and Officer Leatherman completed the Indiana School Resource Officer Conference, and they're ready for next year's school year.
Going back to State Road 9, just think it's important for the council to know we have extra patrols going up and down Whitley Street.
We do.
Keeping an eye on that because we know that that'll be a route, and we have a lot of neighbors in that area that are very concerned about that route. And I know we have a speed sign down there as well, so we're monitoring it in about every way that we can without putting a full-time person just sitting there. So just in case you get calls from constituents, just know we are monitoring it. We have extra patrols and all that stuff on Whitley Street. So.
I see one.
You've seen an extra patrol?
Yep.
Did you get pulled over? Okay, well, that's good.
I made sure I had right at one.
Okay, good. So, questions of Gary? Thank you. Mike?
Our material's been ordered for breaker and remodel. Phase 3 of the skate project on the lift stations, new panels at Armstrong and Eagle Court are going in. Hopefully the panels will be coming next. And we're having a meeting this week to finalize the 600 East project of putting the new pump base in. That's all I've got for
Questions of Mike? I do want to thank Mike for hosting me on Monday. I got to spend some time in the wastewater department, got to spend some time in the water department with the other Mike. I got to spend some time with the street department doing limb pickup and chipping. Thankfully, it was a beautiful day to do limb pickup. It was, I think, 70-some degrees and beautiful. So, so I'm trying to get to each of the departments. While I was at water, that's when we found the main break, or the stormwater break there. So, got to do a lot of things on Monday. So, appreciate everybody kind of helping with that. So, thanks, Mike, for showing me around as well as the other departments. So, questions of Mike Cook? Thank you. Marcia?
Nothing.
Rosie? Okay, a couple of things for your information. That is that, a couple of things for your information. I am going to be gone, well, so tomorrow we're doing an inspection of the current jail with a firm and the president of the redevelopment commission. I didn't really talk about it today, Tad, but I think I talked about it at the last meeting. So Carl and I are walking with the firm through that jail and a couple of county officials to really see what the conditions are of that jail. There's a potential for us to maybe acquire that. We'll kind of see what happens there. So So we're kind of doing all of our checks, if you go along that way. So, again, want to reiterate what Matt said. Got some pretty good comments about 4th of July. There were some questions about the fireworks. So I'm curious as to kind of your opinions or what you're hearing on the street about our fireworks. I think Camtor did a good job of those fireworks. So something that, you know, we need to consider having conversations about, all that kind of stuff. Talk about during budget meetings, all that kind of fun stuff. I am headed to down south tomorrow afternoon, and we'll be there through Thursday for an AIM meeting, AIM Board of Directors meeting down south, southern Indiana. So I will not be in the office outside of that tour for the most part tomorrow or Thursday. Let's see, what else is going on here? Employee Appreciation Luncheon is Monday. You are obviously more than welcome to attend that. Rose needs help cutting onions, I think. Or putting tablecloths down, or whatever the case is. I always need someone to help me flip burgers too. But we're excited about showing the whole week. Yeah, Dan's gonna help me with that. The whole week, showing our appreciation, not just one day or one lunch, but the whole week. So excited to do that. Next week also, on Wednesday, there is a event happening in Warsaw that is kind of a rally, if you will, for US 30 stuff. So legislators will be there and state leaders and things like that. So we're hopeful that will continue that momentum, if you will, that the TEL study is kind of churning out. And then also for Summer in the City, just so you're aware, obviously we have 4-H going on this weekend, but next weekend, the 20th, is the start of Taste of the City, which we're doing a little bit differently this year. Which is we're trying to partner with as many local restaurants as we can, where they either have a special an on-sale special, they have a special item, something that sets it apart to give our residents an opportunity to go and maybe stop in at one of our local restaurants that they've never been to before. There is also a drawing for prizes and stuff. If they do there's a little, like if you take a selfie or something in the restaurant, I don't know what it is. We have all that information out on the city's Facebook page. But that's kind of a cool new thing. That will be actually a week long, basically a Saturday through a Friday. So it'll happen all week. It's not a one specific day. So we're excited about that. I think that's all I have for right now. I may remember something later, but that's all I have for right now. Dan?
Nothing, so.
Okay. Tad?
Nothing.
Jenny?
The only thing I'll say is the city travel soccer for
Yes.
the Parks Department. It's tryouts today
Oh, okay.
or next Monday, and it's 7 to 8, and you have to be attending one of the tryouts.
7 to 8 p.m.
Yes.
Is it indoor?
It isn't. Soccer plays.
Soccer plays in rain.
Yes.
I know that. I know
Unless
that.
it's lightning, we play.
Yes.
So that's
Okay.
it.
Okay, thank you, Leslie.
Nothing.
Okay, we have no press, we have no audience. I'm sorry, Jennifer, do you have anything to say?
I do.
Okay.
Next Sunday, July 21st, from 2 to 4 p.m., the Arts Commission's putting on Art in the Park.
Yep.
We'll be back around the pond at Morses Park. It's a very casual, if you want to come out and make some art, bring your supplies and make some art, hang out.
Awesome, thanks Jennifer, sorry I forgot you, I'm holding you in my hand and I forgot you. Okay, anything else with regard to the cause? We will call the meeting adjourned, thank you.